Alrighty, so let's start with the anime and manga news for the week of January 22nd, 2011. Starting off with the big one, arguably. Funimation was getting the streams for Fractal. Well, I got one of them, and then they stopped streaming it. And turns out the Japanese production committee that makes Fractal has announced that they won't let Funimation simulcast it anymore until all of the until the illegal fan subbed versions are removed from the internet. Basically, it's always been assumed that fan subs exist for all the shows that aren't licensed and aren't available to people. And unfortunately, some of the folks fan subbing Fractal are putting it out there, even though there are legitimate streaming versions of it out there. So the Japanese companies have basically said, you got to fix that, and that's got to be fixed before we'll start simulcasting again. So if you're fan subbing it, and if you're putting it on your servers, stop so we can get Fractal again, please. Moving on, lots of Funimation news this week, actually. Funimation has licensed Freezing for simulcast. A bit late, it's already been out for a little bit. But they will be simulcasting Freezing as it goes out. This is basically a slightly less pervy Queen's Blade. And it will be available simulcasting from Funimation, so okay. Meanwhile, Funimation has canceled its individual DVD and Blu-rays for the Eden of the East film and Ga-Ray Zero. But don't worry, they're going to release them all as combo sets, basically. They haven't explained why, but arguably the single issue releases just aren't selling as well as the box set releases are. So we're going to get that instead of individual releases, so whatever. But we will get DVD and Blu-ray releases of both of them. Meanwhile, Crunchyroll has started to add functionality for non-fictional user-generated shows on the site. They recently had a video contest where folks could vote on documentaries and review shows and so forth on the site. I was one of them. Yay! And basically, they've started putting in functionality so that those shows will actually be on Crunchyroll along with all the other content. So they're still working on that, working on functionality to roll that out. So you should be seeing that coming out in the next couple of weeks. But it should be interesting seeing what that does to Crunchyroll. Meanwhile, the creator of Captain Tsubasa, one of the most popular soccer manga of all time, has started a new soccer anime called Golden Kids. And that is being launched as an iOS app, so for iPhones and iTouches and iPads and so forth, worldwide. Anime dubbed in Japanese, English, Portuguese, and Spanish. So you can go grab this app and watch dubbed version of Golden Kids right on your devices. Very cool. We'll see how that works. I don't know who dubbed it, but bad news for Gion Saga fans. Section 23 has postponed its Blu-ray release, quote, indefinitely due to circumstances beyond our control, end quote. So no news on when that will come out. But that's just the Blu-ray release. The DVD set should go on sale as planned March 29th, but something's up with the Blu-ray release. Who knows? Also in licensing news, Sentai Filmworks has already licensed Infinite Stratos. Not just for simulcasting, they just licensed it for DVD release. So wow, that's interesting. They may stream it, who knows? But yeah, it's out there. Also, Section 23 licensed Asylum Session, which is an anime film I'd never heard of, a little more serious, made in 3D with Aya Hirano as one of the voice actresses. So, sounds like an interesting film, worth checking out. Moving on to some manga news, the 56th Shogakukan Manga Award winners have been announced. In the children's category, Yumero Patissiere won, Natsumi Matsumoto's manga about a girl who goes into baking. In the boys category, King Golf by Ken Sasaki, advised by Masaki Tani, which is a Shonen Sunday manga. In girls category, interestingly, Oku the Inner Chamber, a very serious manga about people sort of sequestered in old Japanese times. And in general category, two winners, Ushijima the Lone Shark by Shohei Maname and Uchu Kyodai by Chuya Koyama, one in Big Comic Spirits, the other in Weekly Morning. So cool to see that stuff, or to see those winning awards. They will each get a bronze statuette and 1,000,000 yen at a March 3rd ceremony in Tokyo. Pretty cool. Also in manga news, Yenpress's iPad app now allows you to buy manga just within the iPad app. All of them are about $9 for a volume, although they are all currently basically a mirror manga. So Svetlana Chmakova's Night School, Maximum Ride, Daniel X, The Clique, Gabby and Gator, The World of Quest, stuff like that is now available in there. I love Svetlana Chmakova's work, so whatever. But you can now buy manga directly through their app, which is very interesting. Meanwhile, in gaming news, British company GameStation has started pre-orders for Child of Eden for a February 11th release date, 17 days before America's planned release date on Play.com. No special edition has been announced yet, but apparently the game will have more features for Xbox 360 users. And the game will also work on conventional controllers as well as Kinect and PlayStation Move. The soundtrack by Genki Rockets, awesome, with old and new tracks being remixed by some so far unannounced DJs. So that's pretty cool. Moving on to some miscellaneous news. The New York Children's Film Fest has started auctioning off an anime vacation. Basically, you put in bids, and the winners get a vacation for 4 to Japan, which will include a visit to the Ghibli Museum and other otaku-related stuff. So head over to animenewsnetwork.com for the full story and find out how to do that. Over in Japan, 2 men were arrested for selling a modified Kamen Rider figurine. It's kind of interesting because it doesn't happen that often. Basically, they modified a Kamen Rider figurine into one of another character and sold it online. The winning bid was over $3,000 US equivalent. So yeah, they're making a lot of money off this, but it is technically illegal to change an existing model kit into something else and then sell it, kind of commercially. So they got arrested and slapped for that one. This is interesting. The 2010 Japanese Anime and Gaming Magazine circulation numbers have been released. The Japanese Magazine Publishers Association has released circulation numbers. They cover the period between October 1st, 2009 and September 30th, 2010. So like the fourth quarter of 2009 through the third quarter of 2010. The big winners are Weekly Famitsu, surprisingly enough, with 500,000 in circulation, followed by V-Jump. Now, of course, these aren't just manga magazines. These are like anime and gaming magazines. Followed by New Type, and what are some of the others? Not quite followed. Chara Parfait, various Dengeki magazines, Dengeki G's, Girls Style, and Dengeki Nintendo DS, all the way down. New Type, for example, sold 133,750 copies, roughly. Comtique, which is a very popular sort of moe-style magazine, 57,000 copies. And Animage, one of the old war horses, 60,000 copies. So not all that much, actually. So interesting seeing that these big, very colorful magazines are selling way better than even the classic anime magazines out there. Some interesting news here. Mamoru Oshii, the guy who directed Ghost in the Shell movie and Skycrawlers and lots of other stuff, he's finishing a story that he wrote for Satoshi Kon to draw. Basically, he was working with Kon on this story, and Oshii was writing it as Kon was doing the manga. And after Satoshi Kon, basically he never finished it, and it wasn't due to his passing away. This was a while back. He just stopped. And Oshii has announced that he's going to finish the story, finish it, and do a full novel out of it and release that. The actual manga that was made was released recently. It's called Seraphim, and they collected that and released it just a manga. So the full novel story will be told. Good news for Maaya Sakamoto, the anime voice actress and singer. Her latest album, her 7th, ranked #1 on the Oricon charts. This is her first full album to get #1 on the Oricon charts. Very good for her. She's done tons of voices, if you haven't heard of her. Best known as Hitomi in Escaflowne, the main girl, Mari Illustrious in Evangelion 2.0, Michio Amano in Canon, Luna Maria Hawk in Gundam Seed Destiny, Haruhi in Oran. The list goes on. Absolutely stunning. Finally, if you're going to go diving in the ocean, you might as well do it in an Evangelion plug suit. That's right. There is now a wetsuit that is a pretty darn good version of an Evangelion plug suit that is available for sale in Japan. They go for about $2,000 each. There's a Shinji, a Rei, and an Asuka version. And let me show you here real quick what it looks like. You can actually pretty well look like the characters from Eva if you want to, for some reason. Okay. So that's all the news fit to print this week. And thanks for joining me. And until next time, take care.